Good morning, Amber.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Hey, I'm so happy to be with you today.
Yeah, I'm so excited. We've been working on getting a spot for a bit, so this feels good. We found it.
Yeah, yes, thank you for working with me on this.
Yes, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It's
Yeah?
good. Everyone's where they should be, and
Yeah.
I can be where I need to be, so it's a
Beautiful.
good day.
I love it. Well, for everyone who's watching, those who are in my mastermind, they have free access to coming on to these lives with me at any time. And here's why, is because in the mastermind, we get coaching every week one-on-one, but there's something about 30 minutes, you and me diving in. So today we're going to dive in because a brand new book showed up for you. You started the mastermind with one book, and then a different book showed up, which actually happens a lot. Like it's like we think we know what it is, and then when we start getting into the practice, our heart leads us elsewhere, right?
Right.
So let's jump in together. We're not going to actually talk about it. We're going to let the book come in and kind of share with us. Does that sound good?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. I've got something in my throat. I don't know what happened. It just like showed up. Okay. So I want you to take a nice deep breath in all the way down to your lower belly. And you're going to breathe in again. Take it all the way down to your toes now. Really bringing your presence to your feet. And I want you to kind of notice if your feet start tingling, that's really good. That means we're bringing you into your body. This final breath in. We're going to let it open up the heart and the throat chakra. Opening up the heart and the throat. There we go. There we go. Okay, so from this space, we're going to just call in all of our angels and our guides and those who are here to lead us, those who are here to direct us, to guide us, in and through the divine light to come and sit with us. Whew. I can feel, like, can you feel? Like, my whole body just started to, like, tingle.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of spiritual team who's here to help you. So just honoring them, thanking them for being here. And then we're just going to prep our bodies. So we're going to ask that light will touch our ears so we can spiritually hear what needs to be heard. The light will touch our third eye so we'll have access to all of our spiritual gifts. The light will cleanse our lips that we speak only what needs to be spoken. Breathing in. And breathing out. And one thing I'm really present to is anything that's in the mind. So any of the to-do lists today, any of the chatter or worries, we're just going to ask that the divine will wrap all of them in this beautiful shield of light and hand them over. We're going to hand it over to God and just ask that God will take everything that's in the mind, everything that's really noisy or always running. It's always running kind of a thing. Like, it's so funny what it's showing me right now. You have a lot of kids. I have a lot of kids. My washer's always running. Like it's
Yeah.
like never not running, right? That's what I'm hearing. Like it's like the brain was like, I'm like the washing machine that's always running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we're just gonna like give so much love. Like I love my washing machine so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love my mind so much. Thank you. But now we're not gonna have that run the show. So today we're gonna run everything through the heart space. So I want you to drop into your heart. If you need to tap your heart, you can. Ah, there we go. We're gonna call in your book, this powerful book. Oh my gosh. Woo, Amber. This book is so powerful, Amber. What are you present to just from when we called it in?
To me, it's there's something there, but it's faceless.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't see it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I saw. And because I know about your book, right? So I have a little bit deeper understanding. Is it felt the I don't even know if this is a word. Enormity, is that a word? I feel like that is. Like it's the amount of people who need this book is it's like almost numberless. And that's why when you said you can't see, it's like faceless because
Mm-hmm.
there are so many who need this book right now, and I could feel their energy in the book.
Hmm.
Like that's why it was like, oh, it's almost like what I hear is that before Braille was invented, those who could not see had no ability to read. And
Hmm.
then, Braille became like it was invented, and then it opened up a whole new world for people who weren't
Yeah.
able to read. Your book has the same energy. So, all of these mamas and dads who are struggling, your book is going to be like Braille for them. It's going to help interpret what they're experiencing, what they're dealing with in a way that has never been given to them. What are you hearing?
I was writing. Should I not be writing?
Oh, right, 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 right.
I feel that. I mean, that's the sense that I'm getting. And it's the head is so in the way. And I'm just like, that's the idea. You have the right idea. It's about a new way of looking at what has just happened. Like
Why
it's a
don't
new
you
way of
share? Why don't you share with everyone right here what your book is about and who it's for?
Well, my idea is that my book is for the mom who suspects or has just gotten a brand new diagnosis that her child has autism and um, is trying to like sit with that fact and not knowing what to do next, not knowing what the future holds, not knowing how to think about it. And that's kind of the avatar of who's reading my book.
Yeah, so powerful. So powerful. And how and the magnitude of how many moms are walking this path right now. And if you can feel, so the reason why I'm hearing your book say, the reason why it showed me Braille is because it feels like they're walking around blind.
Yeah.
Like they just got put onto a path that they cannot see and that they feel blind. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why your book is Braille for them, because it's going to help them see when they feel so blind right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. So let's call in the book. We need to ask the book to show us how, like, how you bring this book through easy. Because right now it's like you're caught in a jungle of weeds with no weed whacker. And you're just trying, like, I know you'll get out because you're super, like, capable. But there's an easier way. Like, if we could give you, like, a machete or something to just cut, you know what I mean? Like, there's an easier way.
Yes. 100%.
So we got to find that way for you. Okay. So let's just drop in. Thank you for being here with us in this beautiful sacred book channeling session. And if you felt the stir in your heart that it is time for you to write your book, then I am so excited to tell you that I am going to give you my sacred creative process that allows authors to channel their books. Just click the link below in the description and you will have immediate access to learning the tools on how you will channel your book. Okay, so here's what your book is telling me. You're an extraordinary teacher. Do you see that about yourself?
Yes, that's the only thing I know.
Okay, great. So your book is showing me you're an extraordinary teacher. So if your book is showing me that okay, if someone were to come to your house and say, I've brought my sister because she's here. She's here. She just got a diagnosis for her daughter with autism. She has no idea what to do. If you could like go into your heart and then say, okay, what would I do first? Well, one, I most like just tell me, like if I brought my friend or sister to you, what would be the first thing that you would do for them?
Well, I would hug them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I would sit her down and I would tell her it's going to be okay. It's
Yeah.
not as bad as you think.
Yeah.
And here, let me give you some different ways to think about things, and let me give you some steps so you can feel empowered.
Yeah. So that's chapter 1 and chapter 2. Okay.
Okay.
And if you could imagine writing this book, like the whole thing gets to be you bringing her in and sitting her down and loving on her and caring for her. This right here, this is how you write your book. You get to step into your role of being the teacher, which is something you're really, really good at. But also, like, I know this just from my own personal experience of knowing you, is like you have a care for others that is like unbridled. Like, there is no boundary for your care. Your care is so big. If we can match care and teacher together in this book, it's going to be that. I love that Sally put navigation. That's what this book is going to be. It's going to be a navigation for them. It's going to be the braille when they can't read. It's going to be the thing that opens up their heart, that opens up their mind, and that truly relieves them. It's the fear of the unknown. That's the win,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So this is where you get to really partner with God and ask God, how do I, chapter 1, give her a hug? Because she's not actually in my house. So what are the words? Is there a meditation? I don't know. Maybe you make meditations. What is it? There's something that God's going to teach you that's going to hug her. Okay? And then in chapter 2, you're going to show her how to see this differently. You're going to empower her. You're going to let her know that it's not always going to feel like this. And you're going to let her know that things like everything you just already said, this is all recorded, so you can go back and watch. But whatever you said, that's what chapter 2 is. Okay? And then you're going to ask your heart, okay, I've hugged her. I've told her it's going to be okay. What's the next step? What would be the best thing that you're going to teach her? Just right here. Like, what would be the first thing? What would be the next thing you would say to this beautiful woman?
Well, that I would get into the nitty-gritty a bit. Like, okay, do we have a diagnosis yet? If not, this is how you need to go about it. These are some things you can think of doing in the meantime if you don't have one. And I'm really like the feelings of people inside of the autism community like is very divided. Very divided.
Okay.
People who have autism themselves who are now adults are speaking out for what they think versus what us neurotypical people, neurotypical moms, neurotypical people who invented all these therapies are saying this is what needs to be done. So it's a very divided out there.
Interesting. Yeah.
And I've been feeling like, well, the people pleaser in me is like, how the crap am I going to write a book that is not going to be controversial in some way? But actually, I feel like I can be Switzerland, and I
Yeah.
can just say, this is this. This is what this means. This is the other side. This is what this means. But the whole goal would be to say, you don't need to listen to any of that. You just need to listen to yourself, because you're enough for your child. You're the expert.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. And when you look at it like this, when somebody is reading Braille, like, they're just reading it, right? Like, it's not like, it's the tool, the format in which to receive information.
Yeah.
You could really feel that, like, your book is like Braille.
Mm-hmm.
You're not there to make somebody right or wrong. You're literally just being the translator for people. You're
Mm-hmm.
translating what you've learned, what you've seen, how you can help people, but then you land that truth in, which is, guess what? All the noise, all the things is going to distract you from your kid.
Yeah.
It's going to distract you from your relationship. I mean, this is how it is in everything, right? Like, we've talked about this, right? In business, there's all these ideas, and everyone's telling you, you should do this, and you should do this, and you should do this. But the truth is none of those are accurate, because everybody's business is so different. When they listen here,
Yeah.
that's where they create success. And that's the same model you're teaching mamas who feel blind, scared, and lonely.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this model of bringing her into the house, sitting her on your couch, like, giving her some tea. I can feel like you just wrap her in a blanket, and then you just start to teach her. You start to teach her. I love that Randa says your book will give permission to trust their knowingness. Their knowing.
I'm writing
Yes.
this down. Thank you, Randa.
Great.
I like that.
I love that. And 100%. Okay, so here's what I'm hearing is that when a mom gets a diagnosis that she has no idea what this is or what the future holds, she then immediately goes into relying on everybody else, because she's like, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
What you're going to do is you're going to give her the basis so that she doesn't feel like she doesn't know anything. You're going to teach her the things she needs to know so that she can then trust herself.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Yes.
You get that?
That's the idea I was thinking, is how can I, like, just make them just dangerous enough that they know the lingo a little bit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. We're like, you know something, you know the basics. If it's like, we just have to know the basics to be able to then trust what's happening. When they don't know anything, that's when they just let go of all their inner knowingness, their own inner trust.
Yeah.
So this is why your book is so important, is because you're going to teach them these things mixed with your gift of care, mixed with your ability of how you've been able to see autism differently.
Yeah. And you want to know the funny thing is that I have just began to see autism differently in the past 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like, since I decided I was going to write a book and I'm going to do, it's going to look like this, and this is what I'm going to say, and it's going to be great. And then before I knew it, I was in the weeds. I have been in the weeds. Like, I can't see. I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
There's a whole world of thinking about this that I was not aware of until I started down that path.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why these books are always for us first. They're our guides. They're like, it's so funny, because the world will tell you that you must be I can't even think of it. Like, you must have it all figured out. You have to be so brilliant at this subject.
Yes.
Before you can write the book. But
yes.
when you become a channel for a book, and I feel this so deeply, God isn't going to pick someone who has it all figured out to write the book that's going to change people's lives. Because if you already know everything, there's no way you're channeling it. You're writing everything from your mind. God picks people who are humble and who don't have it figured out, but they have a desire to make a difference, because now you're malleable. Now you are somebody who's willing to receive information because you don't know it.
Ah, that's such a new way of thinking of it. I was just griping to my husband this weekend, like, I'm not an expert in this
That's
yet.
the
I'm
word,
still in
expert.
it. Yeah, I'm not. Like, I'm still living it with my own kids.
Right. But that's why you were chosen. If you were an expert, you would not be asking God what should come through me. You would not be channeling this message through. You would just have it all figured out.
Wow. That's profound.
Yeah. And that's what's going to help you bring the most powerful book forward. Those are the books that change people's lives.
Yeah.
We don't need another book that comes from the brain. We don't need another expert's book on autism. That doesn't change any mama's life. It makes them feel overwhelmed, like they're dumb, and they feel hopeless.
Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah, that's not what your book is going to be. Your book's going to be like a warm hug, like a dear friend who's sitting down and giving them support, letting them know that they're seen, that they're not alone, and then you're going to give them hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I feel that.
Mm-hmm. That feels good. Okay, so let's see what else. Let's see. We'll bring your book, ask it. Okay, so it's saying just really stay in the metaphor, really stay in the story and the memory of bringing in this beautiful mama into your house, and just sit with like exactly what you would teach her. Each thing is a chapter. So your book is saying just stay in that, and that's how you stay out of your head.
Okay.
Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
just keep going back and being with her. Like, give her a name,
Okay.
talk to her and ask her. Like, here's what's so interesting that's coming to me right now. So, I, like, what was it? 2019, I flew to Texas and had Brittany Scott paint this painting of the Divine Mother for me. It was like this vision that I had. And she had seen that there were more women that needed to be in the painting. But it was like, well, that the women weren't in my vision, so I don't really know how that's going to happen. So instead, we started to ask, like, all right, beautiful woman, what is your story? And then we would hear her story. Like, we would hear it. Like, she was like a divine being that told us of a woman who had lost a child and was feeling alone and was seeking for a divine mother. And then we could paint her because we knew her story. So what I'm hearing is like, can you ask that you'll hear this woman's story and even go into prayer and ask her, what do you need right now? And she'll help you write this book, because she's in essence, ask her in and through the divine light. I'm a big, like, let's call them in through divine light. But yeah. Can you feel how like you're going to hear from her what she needs? And that's going to be what helps you write the book.
And actually, as you were saying that, I felt this girl is me. She is me. She is me 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's easy.
Easy. You just bring that version of you, sit her on the couch in front of you. You can do it in real life, or you can just do it in your heart and just ask, okay, you just found out, Amber. You just got the diagnosis. What do you need today? And maybe, oh my gosh, I'm even seeing that there's like at the end of each chapter, a little box. Like, we have the formatter make a little box, and it's a self-care practice for that chapter. Like, today you're going to go take a bubble bath for 15 minutes and you're going to listen to this song, like, and pick out the song for her, right? Like, today you're going to go grab a latte and read a book for 15 minutes. Like, let's give her practical to-dos for herself, because that, I'm hearing, is a massive piece to her success with this.
Yeah, self-care.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but like it's almost interesting. It can't be vague. It has to be
Specific.
super, super specific per each chapter.
Okay.
I like that. How does that feel?
I'm open to it.
Mm-hmm. 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 Because it's like the car with no gas gets nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And these women, they are on their last 3 miles of gas before they're
Yeah.
empty. So part of your book is refilling them, refueling them.
Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see if there's one last message. So just drop in your heart with me and just see if we can hear. What can we hear? So I've heard this 3 times. I keep pushing it away.
Okay. Go push it
I
away.
keep pushing it away because my brain is like, oh, that's just, it's not a practical business model. So I keep telling them, like, no, this isn't a practical business model. But I'm going to share it anyways. I'm going to quiet my mind because if it's come 3 times, then it is practical and there's a way to do it. Okay.
Okay.
It feels like there is some sort of gift shop, like that you have. So it's like your favorite blankets, your favorite, like it's like there are favorite things that you have found that you've loved through this process. And it's going to be, I don't know, do we just have an Amazon page that they get to go to? Like, is this an actual Shopify account? I don't know. That's what I can't see. But it feels like start to just notice, like, what are the things that you used in the last 2 years that totally helped you? And maybe ask God, what are some things that you don't even know about right now that would help them or their child through this?
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm almost seeing, like, are there certain developmental toys that they don't even know about that would support their child on their path?
Yeah.
You kind of feel that?
Yeah. Definitely not something I thought about. And I feel like I've been really poor at self-care myself until recently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm open. I'm gonna pray on that one. The
Yeah.
gift shop.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's like an easy way to do it and there's a hard way. So let's do the easy way, right? We'll always do the easy way. This is something we can work on in the mastermind. But the reason why the self-care feels super loud is because it's also for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, my YouTube videos, I always have a morning practice. Like, I don't ever miss my sacred space in the morning. My evening practices were like 20% of the time, just really not a solid evening practice. When I started doing my YouTube videos, it forced me to make my evening practice non negotiable. So sometimes we actually suck at the thing that we're going to start teaching people. And when we start teaching it, we
Mm.
become experts at it.
Okay.
So this piece that's going into each chapter, when God shows you what's the self-care practice for them that day, you do it for you.
Okay.
So now this becomes part of fortifying Amber as it fortifies your readers.
Okay.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
So the biggest thing that I want you to do is if you can like make a sign and put it in your office that says, let's see, it's something like, there's something about I release the need to be an expert. I open up to be a vessel.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's going to be the thing that keeps you in your heart, Amber. You don't have
Okay.
to be the expert. Actually, we don't want you to be the expert. It's not how it's going to change people's lives.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, last thing. It's got one last thing. It says stop researching.
Damn it. Don't say that to me again. I have to research.
No, this is not it. It's saying like have okay, what does it say? Hold on, let me be quiet. You discredit your gifts and your abilities, and you rely on research, but your abilities and gifts and your own life experience qualify you to be this author. The research is the kickstand that keeps stalling your bike.
Okay.
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 All right. It's very firm on that. It's very firm on that. All right. So I'm excited because we have the mastermind in 50 minutes. So when we jump into the mastermind today, we'll even go deeper on whatever needs to come up. So it's kind of like we got really clear on the next, I feel like 7 steps of the book. Like this feels like this book is now outlined. It's ready.
Okay.
All right. So let's just wrap your book up. It's like wants to be wrapped up in this beautiful like soft blanket, and it wants to be put on the swing. So we're just gonna put it on the swing. That feels really beautiful. And then we're gonna pour light through you from the top of your head all the way down to your toes, wrapping you in love. Take a nice deep breath in. All right, my dear, I will see you in 50 minutes.
Thank you so much.
If you loved this video, then I invite you to come over with me right here and watch a few more of my book channeling sessions. Join me as I sit with authors and we channel through books that are here to transform humanity. I think you're going to love them.